Investiture of the Gods, Chapter 76.
General Han Rong, what was his initial plan?
Well, his first instinct wasn't some heroic last stand. Not at all. The text is quite specific, actually. He was getting ready to basically pack up his household goods.
Pack his bags, just abandon the pass.
Yeah, pretty much. Quit office, head for the mountains. His thinking was, quite level-headed. He'd seen powerful allies like Yu Hua and Yu Yong get absolutely crushed already.
And he wasn't exactly inspired by the leadership, right? The source calls the ruler Ta, basically deaf and corrupt.
Exactly. So Han Rong's thinking, why should the local people, the Uyghur, suffer and die in a siege for that? His priority was shifting, I think, towards protecting his immediate community.
It sounds like a pretty reasonable position, honestly. Pragmatism over blind loyalty to a rotten system.
It's a very strong argument for, local responsibility when the central authority collapses. But his sons saw things very differently.
Oh, yes. Han Shang and Han Bian, they step in and just shut it down.
Completely. They come at him with the full force of traditional honor codes. They basically say, look, Dad, you've received high titles, big salary from the state. You owe them.
They see abandoning the post as a permanent stain on his reputation, regardless of the circumstances.
Precisely. They hit him with that classic line. In the altar of the state, one dies for the state. In the frontier, one dies for the frontier. It's powerful stuff. Duty above all.
It is powerful, but it also feels, well, is it just about honor or is there something else driving them? Because it seems like a huge gamble.
Well, that's where it gets interesting. They don't just rely on guilt or rhetoric. They reveal they have an ace up their sleeve. They tell them they've just finished mastering some kind of esoteric art.
Okay, so that's the pivot. They're not just demanding a suicide mission. They genuinely believe they can win.
Right. And that shifts the whole dynamic. Suddenly, it's not just about abstract loyalty versus pragmatism anymore.
Right.
Now there's this secret weapon involved.
Which brings us to the main event. The 10,000 Blades chariot. The Han Sheng goes into the study and comes back with, well, describe it.
This is the part that always gets me.
Okay.
It's described as ingte. It's literally a paper-made spinning disc, like a child's pinwheel or a paper windmill.
A paper toy. Not some legendary sword or mystical armor. Paper.
Exactly. The author clearly wants you to feel that dissonance. This incredibly destructive thing looks like something you'd make in craft class.
But obviously it's more than just paper. What makes it work? What are the components?
It's all about the ritual elements embedded in it. You've got 4 small banners positioned around this paper disc.
Okay.
And crucially, these banners are covered with talismans and seals. That's where the power comes from. It's not the material. It's the inscribed magic.
And the inscriptions themselves are key, aren't they? The 4 elements.
Yes. Earth, water, fire, and wind.
Yes.
These aren't just random words. They tap into the fundamental forces of the cosmos as understood in that context.
So this paper toy becomes a conduit for manipulating reality itself. Weaponized cosmology, essentially.
You got it. And it elevates the whole thing way beyond simple mechanics or, normal warfare.
And where did the sons even learn this? They didn't invent it, right?
No. They learned it from a wandering monk, a figure named Feiji. Apparently, they'd hosted him for a meal sometime earlier.
Another classic trope, secret knowledge passed down by mysterious masters outside the official channels.
Right. And Feiji, apparently having foreseen Jiang Zi's advance, gave them this technique, this show or magic treasure, specifically to defend Sishui Pass. He knew conventional means wouldn't be enough.
So Han Rong hears all this, sees this paper thing. He must have been deeply skeptical.
Oh, almost certainly, which is why the sons immediately arrange a demonstration out on the training grounds.
They need to prove it works. What happens?
It's quite dramatic. The sons ride out, they loosen their hair, draw their swords, standard ritual preparation, and they start chanting.
And the effect.
Instantaneous and terrifying. The text describes clouds and fog just erupt out of nowhere. Then it's these fierce, eerie winds kick up.
Okay, standard spooky atmosphere.
But then it ramps up. Karsh's flames shoot towards the sky. And the most chilling part, the promise of Tevra. Millions of flying blades materializing from the chaos.
Millions! From paper windmills.
That's the power they command. And Han Rong's reaction is perfect. He's utterly terrified, but also delighted.
Delighted. That seems like an odd reaction to utter terror.
Well, terrified by the power, but delighted because he suddenly sees a path to victory, maybe. His fear of defeat is instantly replaced by the prospect of wielding this overwhelming, almost unfair advantage.
So the demonstration works. Han Rong is convinced. What's the next step? How do they prepare for actual battle?
This is where the scale becomes mind-boggling. Han Xing claims they have 3,000 of these chariots ready.
3,000 paper death machines.
Yeah. And he boasts they can take down Jiang Ziya's entire army, all 600,000 of them, with just these.
That's ambitious.
Yeah.
But it's not just about having the weapons, right? They need soldiers to wield them.
Exactly. So they select 3,000 Thudi elite soldiers. This isn't something you just hand out to raw recruits.
And there's specific training involved.
Yes, sure. Which means 2 sets of 7 days, so 14 days of intense preparation. This suggests it wasn't just physical training, but probably spiritual or ritual conditioning too.
And they had a specific look, didn't they? A uniform.
They did. Black clothing, sifur. They wore their hair loose, like the sons did in the demo. And they were barefoot.
Black clothes, loose hair, barefoot. What's the significance there? Ritualistic.
Probably. Black often connects to, darker, more yin aspects, maybe related to the elemental control. Being barefoot could be about grounding, literally connecting to the earth to channel energy. It all points to the soldiers becoming part of the ritual themselves.
So they're not just soldiers anymore, they're conduits for this power.
Pretty much. And the handling was precise. Left hand holds the chariot, right hand holds a saber. It's disciplined, synchronized, mystical warfare.
Okay, so 14 days pass. The training's done. 3,000 elite, barefoot, paper windmill-wielding soldiers are ready. What happens when Jiang Ziya actually arrives?
Jiang Ziya marches his army out, likely expecting a standard battle or siege. General Wei Ben, one of his commanders, rides out to issue a challenge to Han Rong.
But Han Rong doesn't take the bait.
Nope. Han Shang and Han Bian step forward instead. They engage Wei Ben, but only for a few rounds.
Yeah.
It's almost perfunctory.
Just going through the motions.
Seems like it, because then Han Shang quickly pretends to flee, pulling Wei Ben into pursuit, drawing him away from the main Zhu force. Classic decoy tactic.
And Wei Ben falls for it.
He does. He chases Han Shang, probably thinking he's got the arrogant young general on the run. But then Han Shang suddenly stops. He takes off his helmet and waves his spear.
The signal.
That's the signal. And immediately, those 3,000 soldiers unleash the 10,000 blades chariots all at once.
What does the text say it looked like? What did it feel like on the receiving end?
It's pure chaos. The chariots move like cheery with the force of wind and fire. Instantly, the whole world is obscured by clouds and fog. Visibility drops to 0.
Total sensory overload.
Absolutely. You get descriptions of sand and stones rolling and flying everywhere, mixed with dark smoke or energy. And then the blades hit sands and 10,000 spears and halberds flying through the mist.
Devastating. What happens to the Zhu commanders caught in it? Wei Ben?
Wei Ben is hit immediately, wounded, barely staying on his horse. Another key general, Wu Ji, is also struck, nearly knocked unconscious.
So even seasoned warriors, presumably well-armored, are just instantly taken down.
Yeah, conventional defenses mean nothing against this kind of attack. It bypasses armor, skill, everything. It's elemental power made manifest.
And the effect on the rank-and-file soldiers? The 600,000.
Complete rout. Absolute panic. The description is incredibly vivid.
Say, bang, are crashing into each other, just wailing in misery. Horses are trampling horses, panic neighing like the cries of ghosts.
It's the complete breakdown of military order.
Yes.
Discipline just evaporates.
Utterly, when the attack is that sudden, that inexplicable, and that overwhelming, there's no strategy left. It's just raw terror.
And the atmosphere itself changes.
Yes, that's a key detail. What was where? A clear, bright day suddenly becomes Buryo. It's like black night or twilight has instantly fallen. The magic literally changes the environment of the battlefield.
It really underscores the power dynamic here, doesn't it? Brute force versus specialized knowledge.
Absolutely. Jiang Ziya's massive army, the pinnacle of conventional strength, is just shattered in moments by 3,000 soldiers wielding essentially ritually charged paper.
It goes badly.
Catastrophically, we're talking maybe 8,000 troops just wiped out, gone, in one engagement.
Wow. What hit them?
It was this weapon called the Myriad Blade Chariot, the Wan Ren Che.
Sounds nasty.
Oh, it was. The sources describe it like some kind of early mechanized weapon. But the terrifying part wasn't just the blades.
No.
No, it was amplified by, well, dark arts, magic. It moved incredibly fast, brought its own wind and fire. The text literally says the blades were unavoidable. They just sliced through formations.
Okay. Unavoidable, thousands dead. Han Rong's winning. Why would he stop the attack? Why pull back in broad daylight?
Yeah, that's the interesting strategic bit. Han Rong was smart. He knew who he was fighting.
Meaning?
Zia's side had these masters of Dao arts, powerful figures, not just soldiers.
Right, the guys with the magic.
Exactly. Han Rong figured during the day, these masters would be alert, prepared. They could put up spiritual defenses, protect key people like the Zhu King, maybe even escape using magic.
So a daytime win wouldn't be total annihilation?
Precisely. He couldn't wipe them out completely while they were ready. He wanted more than just a tactical victory.
Okay. He was aiming for utter destruction. And daylight wasn't the right condition for that against these Dale Masters.
Right. Which leads him to his big plan. The sources call it his ultimate scheme, the Zhu Haoji.
Sounds ominous. What was it?
A night raid, timed perfectly for the first watch, the Shugang.
When everyone's asleep and unprepared.
Exactly. He gambled on catching the entire Zhu camp off guard, mentally and physically. Darkness, surprise, and the terror of the chariots. He sent 3,000 soldiers in.
The goal being total destruction this time.
Yeah, the sources say something like, not a single scrap of armor remaining, just pure annihilation.
And the descriptions of this night attack? They're pretty horrific.
They are. Chaos, wind, fire, blades like shuttles, mass slaughter, blood flow into channels, corpses everywhere. It's brutal.
But what about the Dell Masters? Jinza, Muza, Leizenzi, these guys have serious power. Why couldn't they stop at this time?
Well, that's the key tactical point here. They're kind of magic, day arts. It often needs focus, rituals, concentration, maybe even space to, summon something or cast a big spell.
Okay.
But this attack was sudden, dark, chaos everywhere. Wind, fire, blades moving too fast. It basically overloaded their senses, knocked them out of any kind of meditative state needed for complex magic.
So they couldn't use their big offensive powers?
Not effectively. They were thrown back onto just basic primal defense, trying to shield themselves, or, more importantly, protect the Zhu King, Wu Wang.
So their own powers were useless against the sheer speed and chaos?
Functionally, yes. Their sophisticated arts couldn't cope with that raw, immediate, overwhelming force. The king himself was apparently terrified, almost frightened to death. Needed someone, Mao Gongsu, to physically shield him.
The whole system just broke down under the pressure.
Completely. And Jiang Ziya, he barely got out. Had to use his special apricot yellow banner just for protection.
But he wasn't safe yet.
No way. Han Rong's sons, Han Shang and Han Bian, they were right on his tail, relentlessly pursuing him.
Pushing him back.
Yeah, pushing him towards Jinji Ridge. He was isolated, cornered. It looked really bad for him.
He's trapped, about to be captured or killed.
Seems inevitable. But then, right at that moment, help arrives from an unexpected quarter.
Ooh, reinforcements.
Not exactly. It was a grain escort, led by an officer named Zhang Lin.
A grain escort. How's that going to help against magic chariots and elite pursuers?
Well, Zia probably thought the same thing. He sees Zhang Lin coming, sees the pursuers closing in, and shouts a warning. Something like, avoid the sharpness. Basically, get out of the way, save yourself.
Okay, makes sense.
But Zhang Lin doesn't turn back. He rides towards the danger, towards Han Shang and Han Bian.
Why? Did he not understand?
Oh, he understood perfectly. He likely saw that whatever Zia and the Dao Masters were doing, the conventional magic approach, it hadn't worked. It failed against this weapon.
So he knew he needed a different tactic.
Exactly. He wasn't going to try fighting the chariots or the soldiers conventionally.
Hang on, though. If Zheng Lun has some kind of special power, and he's part of the Zhu army, why didn't Zia, the supreme commander, know about this or use him earlier? Was this power unknown?
That's a really sharp question. It suggests Zheng Lun's ability might be, well, unique, not part of the standard Dao toolkit that Zia commanded.
Like a different kind of power altogether.
Possibly. Zia relies on, let's say, established spiritual warfare techniques. Zheng Lun's power seems more innate, like an internal energy projection. It doesn't seem to need the same prep time or rituals. He just does it.
Okay, so he is the weapon, in a sense.
Yeah, you could say that, which makes what he does next so striking.
What was his move?
It was immediate. He faces Han Shang and Han Bian and just activates his power. 2 streams of bright white light shoot from his nose.
From his nose?
Yeah, accompanied by this loud humming sound, according to the text, aimed right at the brothers.
And what did it do? Kill them?
No, not kill. It incapacitated them instantly. The text says they couldn't keep their saddles. They just lost all control, slumped, and fell off their horses. Helpless.
Wow. Just like that,
Just like that. Zhenglun's soldiers, the Raven soldiers, immediately grab them prisoners.
That's incredible. So he didn't fight the chariot's magic.
No, he targeted the operators. Han Shang and Han Bian were likely directing the chariots, or at least the pursuit.
Ah, so take out the command and control.
Exactly. That's the key lesson here, maybe even for modern thinking. When you're up against a complex system, sometimes the best way isn't to fight the mechanism itself, but to neutralize the intelligence guiding it.
Disrupt the operator's control loop.
You got it. And the proof is immediate. As soon as the brothers were captured, the whole magical effect supporting the attack, it just collapsed. The wind, the fire, the speeding blades, poof, gone. Vanished into nothing, the source says. The method was broken. The chariots were suddenly just metal again.
Because the commanders were offline.
Precisely. The system driver was gone. So the remaining 3,000 Shang soldiers, they saw this, saw their leaders taken, the magic gone. They just broke and fled.
And Han Rong, the father, watching all this.
He sees his troops running, learns his sons are captured. The sources say he became fearful in his heart. That initial terror he inflicted, it boomeranged. He immediately pulled back into Sishui Pass.
So the tide turned completely. Xia survives, the attackers regroup.
Right. Xia, Wu Wang, the generals, they recover from that awful night, and now they're back at the gates of Sishui Pass. But this time
they hold Han Rong's sons.
Yeah.
The ultimate leverage.
Exactly. And this shifts us from the military and magical aspects into the really gut-wrenching human drama of it all.
The price of loyalty.
You could say that. Xia wastes no time. He rides up to the pass, calls Han Rong out.
And Han Rong comes out?
He appears on the wall, and Xia displays the sons. Bound, looking rough, disheveled hair and bare feet is how it's described.
Oh, man. Imagine seeing your kids like that.
Yeah. The sources say Han Rong cried out when he saw them. And in that moment, he's not a general anymore. He's just a father.
What does he do?
He immediately offers to surrender. Full stop. I'll dedicate Sishui Pass to you right now, he says, basically. Just give him back his sons. He begs Xia for mercy.
He chooses family over duty.
It seems like it. But before Xia can even respond, one of the sons, Han Shang, shouts down from below.
He rejects the offer.
Loudly. He basically tells his father he's ashamed of him for even thinking about it.
Why? To save their lives.
Because of Chen Jie, that idea of ministerial integrity, of unwavering duty to your ruler and your post.
Ah, right. The core principle.
Han Shang yells that his father is a pillar of the Shang dynasty, serving King Zhu. He's taken the king's money, held this vital pass, to throw that all away, to betray his Chen Jie just to save his sons.
Unacceptable even to save their own lives.
Exactly. He tells his father, hold the pass, wait for reinforcements, don't betray your duty for us. Even knowing King Zhu was a tyrant and the cause was probably lost.
He's choosing honor, the abstract principle, over survival. His own, his brother's, his father's potential disgrace.
It's an incredible display of commitment to that code, but you can imagine how Xia reacted.
Furious, I bet. This isn't noble sacrifice to him, it's defiance.
Absolutely. The text says Xia was enraged. This public display of loyalty to the enemy right when he's offering surrender terms, it was intolerable.
So what did he do?
No hesitation, ordered their immediate execution right there below the wall.
Brutal. And someone carried it out.
Nangong Shi carried out the order instantly. Han Shang and Han Bian were slain.
And Han Rong, watching from the wall.
He saw his sons killed for upholding the very principle he likely taught them, the duty he lived by.
What could he even do?
He cried out, and then, in a final act mirroring his son's commitment, he threw himself off the city wall.
He killed himself.
Fell to his death. Father and sons, all lost in moments, bound together by this code of Chen Jie. A triple tragedy.
Wow, just devastating. The victory is Zhu's, but the moral weight.
It hangs heavy. And later commentators, there's a poem mentioned, they actually praise the Han family. Not for fighting Zhu, but for their loyalty itself, for sacrificing their lives to fulfill their duty, their zhongzhan, their unwavering loyalty, even to a failing cause.
Tai Zenren, Neza's master, calls him up.
Right, Neza's healed from previous fights, ready to go back down the mountain, rejoin the Zhu campaign. Standard stuff so far.
But the master has one last thing, a divine power-up. He gives Neza 3 cups of jade nectar and 3 fire dates. Tells him, drink these, eat these.
Neza does, gratefully. Jumps on his windfire wheels, heads off.
And almost immediately things go sideways. The text says, shoo, like a sudden sound, and poof, A left arm just sprouts out of him. He's completely freaked out.
Understandably. He's like, what on earth is happening? It's pure body horror, even for a divine being.
And before he can even process that, another arm pops out on the right. Then it just accelerates 6 more hands sprout, making 8 arms total, and then 3 heads.
The source uses the phrase, Shang, basically stunned, speechless, utterly terrified.
And his first reaction isn't, oh, cool, more power. It's pure practicality. He rushes back to his master, basically saying, how am I supposed to fight like this?
Yeah, these things are all tangled up. He uses the term budo, which means like messy, tangled, chaotic. I can't even move properly.
But the master just laughs. He confirms this isn't some horrible mistake. This is the point of the nectar and dates.
He basically tells him, stop thinking like a human warrior. This is a divine upgrade. And he quotes that line, Ajensa Edsha. The 8 arms are a magnificent divine technique, and the 3 heads are not to be taken lightly. It's the final step needed from Jingguan Cave.
So the idea is, to fight this chaotic formation, Nizha has to embody a kind of controlled chaos himself. He loses that human-like form for raw, overwhelming divine power.
Exactly. The Zhou forces need literal gods on their side, not just skilled fighters. This transformation proves it.
And you can't just have 8 arms flapping around. You need weapons.
Right. The upgrade is instantly functional. He becomes a walking arsenal.
Okay, let's quickly list them because it shows the totality of the change. It's not just his spear anymore.
Not at all. He gets the classic Kina Kun circle. That's 1. The Huntian silk, 2. The heavy gold brick, 3. Then 2 fire-tipped spears, 1 for each side. So that's 4 and 5.
Okay.
The 9 dragon divine fire cover. That's 6. And finally, a pair of yin-yang swords. 7 and 8.
Wow. That's an integrated weapon system right there. Makes his old self look, well, basic.
Pretty much. He's ready for a completely different level of conflict.
Okay, so let's zoom out from Nizha's personal physical freakout to the bigger picture, the strategic terror facing the Zhou army. We cut to Jiang Ziya.
Yeah, Marshal Jiang Ziya at Sishui Pass, and he's stuck. Not because of the enemy, but because of prophecy.
His master gave him this super cryptic warning. At Jipai Pass, encounter the immortal slaying formation.
And he's paralyzed by it. He's terrified of getting the timing wrong, leading everyone into this, well, meat grinder, like you said earlier. It's a huge burden for the human commander.
Totally understandable. Luckily, help arrives, or at least instructions. Huanglong Zhenren, the Yellow Dragon true person, shows up.
And the message is blunt. Stop. Halt the mortal army's advance right now. Forget Jipai Pass for a moment.
So what's the new plan?
Focus everything on building a new true. A reed pavilion, basically. But this isn't just some tent. It's a grand temporary hall specifically to welcome all the true persons and masters who are about to arrive.
Ah, so it's like a celestial receiving station.
Exactly. They're preparing for the master teacher, their supreme leader. The whole mortal war effort is put on pause for divine summit logistics.
And right into this scene of, like, holy construction chaos.
Tai comes Nizha in his new form.
Talk about an entrance. Blue face, red hair, 3 heads, 8 arms.
Riding his windfire wheels, the soldiers on watch, they freak out. They report back to Jiang Ziya that some feels unrecognizable general is at the gate. They think it's an attack.
And get this, Jiang Ziya sends out Li Jing, Nizha's father.
To scout this.
Yeah, this monster.
And Li Jing goes out, sees this terrifying, blue-faced, multi-limbed being, and somehow recognizes his son under all that.
It's actually a kind of darkly funny moment. Oh yeah, that's just Nizha. He goes back and tells Jiang Ziya the whole story about the fire dates and the nectar.
Jiang Ziya must have been so relieved, like, okay, not an enemy demon, just my super-powered vanguard.
Exactly. It confirms the transformation, however grotesque, is sanctioned. It's part of the plan.
Right. So that little crisis is averted. Now the main event begins. The grand assembly at the Reed Pavilion. Jiang Ziya leaves King Wu safe and travels out there.
Yeah, about 40 light out. He goes with Huanglong Zhenren. And this is where you, the listener, really grasp the cosmic weight of this whole thing.
Because it's not just a few helpers showing up. No, it's the Pantheon. Over the next 2 days, the immortals start pouring in. This isn't a skirmish, it's the universe calling in its deaths.
So who arrives? We're talking the big guns here.
Absolutely. First day, you get key figures like Guan Chengzi and Qi Jingzi. Then more of the 12 golden immortals. Zhu Liu Sun, Wenshu Guangfa Tianzun, Puxian Zhenren, Xiang Daoren, Yu Ding Zhenren.
Wow, okay. That's already a powerhouse group.
And they keep coming. Day 2 brings Yun Zanzi, Taiyi Zenren as A's own master, Kingzhu Dao de Zanjun, Dao Jing Tianzun, Lingbao de Faxi. Jiang Ziya is basically just greeting deity after deity.
Intense. And then Luya Dao Ren arrives, and he brings the crucial context, right? He mentions Ji Yun.
Yes, Ji Yun. This is huge. It means something like karmic calamity, or a destiny cycle that must be fulfilled. Li Yao lays it out. This formation, the Zhuxun Zhen, and the even bigger one later, the Wanxun Zhen, they're not just battles.
They're required.
They are required. By fate, by the accumulated karma of everyone involved. It's the only way to clear the slate.
So Neza's crazy transformation, this massive gathering the whole war, it's all part of paying off this cosmic debt.
Pretty much. Luya says only after they go through this cleansing fire can they be free to pursue real enlightenment. Itra, or their cultivation, the battle is a necessary ritual.
Mind-blowing. And the final arrival.
Ren Deng Dao Ren, the lamp-burning Taoist, he's a major figure, and he confirms it. The formation is right ahead. They've reached the threshold.
Okay, so now they have to actually look at this thing. What happens?
Well, first, Ren Deng points out it's hidden. There's this thick, ominous red energy obscuring everything. You can't see the structure, just feel its killing intent.
But the other side wants them to see it.
Seems like it. Dua Bao Dao Ren, from the enemy Jiji sect, performs a palm thunder technique and uses it to pull back the red mist, like drawing a curtain.
Revealing the Zhuxun Zhen. And the description is chilling.
Oh yeah, it lives up to the hype. Killing intent, soaring dark gloomy clouds, strange swirling fog, cold winds whipping around.
And it's not even stable.
Not at all. The text says it's constantly shifting, appearing, disappearing, moving up, down, back, forth.
It's designed to mess with your head, pure psychological warfare through cosmic power.
It sounds terrifying. Huanglong Zenren calls it a killing calamity. They know the danger.
They absolutely know. Rande even tries to warn them, quote, some old wisdom about a mortal staying out of human conflicts. But they can't resist. This is maybe the most human moment in the chapter. Despite the warnings, despite the obvious immense danger,
They have to look.
they rush down from the pavilion. 8 or 9 of the 12 golden immortals, these incredibly powerful, wise beings, they just charge forward to get a closer look at this terrifying spectacle that's about to engulf them.